Before we're gonna start, I want us all to take a big inhale through our lungs. How amazing is our body? We just entered the lungs oxygen, which got into the bloodstream, and while doing that, we stop intruders getting to the body. So this is an amazing in evolutionary perspective, but has a huge drawback when it's come to drug delivery. Because when we try to deliver drugs to the body, the same mechanism that protect us actually block nanoparticles within inhalers or other devices. But don't worry, in the last years it's been observed that the same nanoparticles within the inhaler, while produced, accumulate excess amount of charge, and this effect potentially help the absorption of particle to the tissue because of attractive electrostatic force. But this mechanism being studied the most at the big scale of the lungs, few centimeters of the upper airway. And if you look at the inversely proportionality of the force to the distance, the most interesting part of the lungs is actually the alveoli, the cavities within the deep lungs, which are scaled micrometers. So there's a need to build a model that mimics the phenomena of electrostatic effects within the deep lungs. What are the obstacles we face while designing and thinking about this model? First of all, we need to take account of the really small scale of the lungs. So using a dicer, we actually diced glass to the right micrometer dimension of the lungs. Secondly, we need to take care of the velocity. So we actually mimic the velocity profile of the lungs, the same creeping flow, Poiseuille flow. And third, we need to take care of the conductivity effect. So using atomic layer deposition, we coated the glass with ITO. And thanks to the fact that both ITO and the glass transparent, we can observe what's happened to the particle while getting into the lungs. So I want to share with you some figures from inverted microscope. So this is a Z-stack that produces a 3D image of one cavity where the particle actually deposit. So we can track where are the particles and understand for different cases, size versus charge, what's going on within the lungs. So here are 4 real cases. Different diameters, a different charge. Particles 200 nanometer, which at these scales being controlled by diffusion, and a big particle which controlled by gravity's effect. So for the neutralized case of the nanoparticles, we can see that the ratio of getting into the cavities was really low, 0.09. But if we increase the charge of part of the particle, the effect would double. We have double the amount of particles within the lungs. And for big particles, 1.1 micron, we actually have the opposite effect. In the direction of gravity, particle entering the cavities really easily, but when charge is introduced, they actually diminish this effect to 0.19. So we see the charge behave differently for different sizes. Another interesting phenomena that we study is how deep the particle can go through the lungs. And we can observe and study it using the gradient of the graph. In summary, when dealing with alveolar absorption, most of the time people compare diffusion effect with gravity, which only account for the size of the particle. But as we see in this research, we need to take care of the charge, and a smart combination between size and also charge can actually produce a new generation of inhalers based on a nanotechnology understanding, and this can potentially be an alternative solution to other drug delivery methods that we have. I was Ron Bessler. My advisor is Professor Josue Schnittman, and this study was electrostatic effect in the deep lungs. Hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much.